Hi there, right, so today I'm painting up my chassis for the Sidecar. I've already done one of the units. I'm using a product called Chassis Black, which is this tin here. It's a petroleum based mixture. It's just a spray, but I'm painting it on. First of all, I've got some white spirit, and I'm just dousing it down because when I got the frame I coated it in oil, lots of oil and whatnot, just to keep it in halfway decent nick until I could actually start painting it. Now I've got to get all that oil and grease off, so what I'm doing is I'm using a paintbrush and I'm basically just going around with the paintbrush, the whole frame, getting all the nooks and crannies just to get, there we go. I've now cleaned it up, I've let it dry. I'm just going to give it a quick clean with some wire wool, and then we're going to start painting. I'm going to use this again with stuff. Very good nick, actually. Start at the top. Work the way down. Coat. I'm getting so deep into any holes as possible. Stippling slightly just to help out, get into those little things. Then I'll do a top coat with just brushing and let the paint find its own way around. That's the first exterior coat done. Right, what I'm doing now is do something to straight the interior of the frame. That's what I need. A little bit of paint, not a lot, that'll do. Oh, spraying everywhere because of the wind. You see, I've got what in here, I've got a white spirit, and then I put the lid on so it doesn't dry out. So I've got and I just give it a shake and it keeps that little bit of white spirit. That much should do. So what I want is to give it a coating. Lid on and give it a blooming good shake. Really, really good shake so it can. That's the sort of thing we want. Is, as you can see from there, it's thick. It's not too thick not to come out. And we're just going to give it a spray on the frame. The holes. Let it run naturally. That's what we want. Here we go. I've just done the next coat. I've got 2 coats so far. You can see, I've also got the inside where I could. I've got pretty good covering, letting it dry, and what I'll do then is I'll put an extra coat on just the extra sections which may get knocked quite easily, just to give it some extra toughness. And there we go, all finished, all painted up. Got to watch the drips, don't worry about them, they'll harden off. There we go, that's it, that's the frame done. All I've got to do now is wait for it to dry. I'm going to leave it secure for a few days. As you know, I've painted the frame already. I've also painted the swing arm, and there's the shock, which I painted absolutely ages ago. What I'm doing with the shock at the moment is I'm fitting new bushings and rubbers for the bolts. I've just got to Dremel out the bushing just to make it fit the bolt. So I'm going to use a very low powered Dremel and just carve it out ever so slightly just to increase the bore. It doesn't need a lot, but it'll do the job. Right, here we go. Call them, it's not a Dremel, it's a draper, but I always call them Dremels because they're just a handy tool. I'm using that flat bit there just to carve it out a little bit inside the eyelet. And you may ask, why aren't I using a drill bit? Well, firstly, I haven't got a drill bit that big. Secondly, I tried it enlarging one of these earlier, or yesterday, and the rubber heated up, and I don't want the rubber to heat up. Now I've set it in place, all I want to do is get the bolt through, and I know there's a little ridge in there, and just keep it cool, keep it slow, and just slowly carve it out, and that's probably the best thing you can do. I've got it on its lowest setting. It's better to buy one of these bits to mess up the work you're working on. After a few minutes, I've also cleaned up the rust from the bolt as well, just to give it better. After a few minutes, well, not even that, a few seconds, I can then pass the bolt through, and there's not any give in there. Well, that's tightened up. That's one done. Let's do the same to the other end. It's not a lot of work, you know, it's just very, very tight, and that's what we really want it to be, as tight as possible. I could try drilling it out and I might not get it as tight, and the bushings that are already there weren't tight enough, so we'll work from there. Here we go, straight through. All it was is a ridge in there, and all I've done is take the ridge down. What I'm now going to do, check it, I'm going to recoat it in paint. Cut a couple of bits down because they're bulging out ever so slightly, that's not a problem. But effectively, just clean it up and then slot it in. There we have it. Shock is in place. Remember, that's a bantam shock. I bought off eBay for 2 for 20 quid altogether. As you can see, I've painted it all together. It's all bolted in. All the bolts have plenty of grease. You've got your swing arm here, swing arm point here that I've greased up. I've used, basically this is really old grease. It must be, what, older than I am, and it's still good, and I always use this as much as I can in any of my projects that I have. And what I'll do is I'll also copper grease these up once I put the sidecar properly together. But that should do it. See that it works. Plenty of suspension strength there, so that should do it. I'm a happy bunny.